The following program is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. I didn't think we were going to start on time today, but we are. Hello there, my name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for this first day of September. You can either tell your favorite streaming device to play Green Day or Earth, Wind, and Fire, because you can either wake me when September ends or just celebrate September. And I'll begrudgingly agree that it is pumpkin spice season. Anyway, this is the last of our divisional series game ones. We now know that the National League Championship Series will see 3 games in Chicago, or maybe, as the Cubs swept the Giants in their divisional series. So Florida and Houston are the end of the road for the NLDSs, and whoever wins that will have home field for the National League Championship Series. Florida, a couple years earlier than we thought they would be when it came right down to it. They got some good pitching. Their bullpen is very suspect. We'll see if that matters at all in this series. And, of course, the combo of Mike Lowell and Kevin Millar, future Boston Red Sox of America, one of the big reasons why the Marlins are here. They outlasted the Phillies, who didn't really have the horses yet, and Atlanta, whose pitching just wasn't up to snuff. Houston got here in real life. It was one of the 4 teams that made the playoffs, and I would think, especially with San Francisco gone, that they're going to be probably the odds-on favorite to win the pennant. However, objects in the mirror are always closer than they appear, and careful what you wish for, you just might not get it. Roy Oswalt will get the call for Houston in Game 1 against Brad Penny, so we'll see. This is the last of the series, and then after, remember, we do the quick sims for Games 2 and 3 right after the live stream for Game 1 while we're still streaming. And so we'll give you the schedules for Game 4 once we know how many Game 4s there are. But for now, my baby, Retro Sports Network presents the National League Divisional Series 2001 from Enron Field in Houston, Texas. It is the Houston Astros and the Florida Marlins. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. And so Roy Oswalt is taking his warm-up tosses. Roy made 20 starts on the replay. Let me see, went 9-6 with an earned run average of 308, 143 innings, 126 pitches, 17 homers. He walked 22 while striking out 160. Get the Marlins numbers up here. Here we go. And this, now you can say it, Ranger fan, Curtis, go Astros. Here's a lineup Florida will put up for you. Louis Castillo will lead off at second base. Lee is at first, he'll bat second. Cliff Floyd in left bats third. Preston Wilson in center cleans up. Mikey Lowell at third will bat fifth. Kevin Millar in right will go sixth. Charles Johnson behind the plate will go seventh. Alex Gonzalez at short eighth. And Brad Penny, who, surprisingly enough, we didn't see, I think, in all those late season Marlin games, is on the mound batting ninth. Defensively for Houston, Lance Berkman a 5 and a 5 in left. Richard Hidalgo a 7 and a 6 in center. Moises Alou a 2 and a 9 in right. Vinny Castilla is a 5 at third. Julio Lugo is a 7 at short. Craig Biggio is a 3 at second. Jeff Bagwell a 6 at first. Brad Ausmus a 10 and a 7 behind the plate. Ed Oswalt is a 7 on the mound with a .971 fielding percentage. Castillo comes in at 236, a homer, and 40 RBI. He stole 37 bases on the year, but was thrown out 26 times. Well, let me make sure I have, yep. So we're all set and ready to go. Oswald gets the all clear from the TV folks. 72 degrees, the roof is open, wind blowing out to the Crawford boxes in left center at 7. And this one starts with a fly ball to right. HOU over in the corner makes the catch, 1 out. Derek Lee at 272, 14 homers and 85 RBI on the replay. Oswald's pitch, ground ball to third. Castilla across the way to Bagwell. 2 out. For Cliff Floyd, who had a monster year, 306, 34 homers, and 111 RBI. One of the 3 Marlins to break the century mark in RBI. Oswald deals. There's a base hit left center field. Berkman's going to cut it off. And Floyd has a 2-out single for Preston Wilson. Preston, 261, 14 homers, and 73 RBI. Oswald on this warm day in Houston lines and deals. Struck him out, and that's the first strikeout of the ball game. So the Marlins get a hit and leave a runner on. We go to the bottom of the first in game 1 of this series. The Marlins nothing. Here come the Astros. I got to tell you about Brad Petty first before I go fight Houston. Petty on the mound, 31 starts. He went 15-6 for Florida with a 2.71 ERA. In 192 2/3 innings, 168 hits, 63 runs, 58 earned. He walked 48 and struck out 142. You would have thought someone would have sorted these out better. Here's a lineup for the Astros. Julio Lugo at short will lead off. Craig Biggio will bat second and play second. The Astros 93-69 overall. As a team, they hit 268 and a 4.01 ERA. Lance Berkman cleans up in left. Moises Alou in right will bat fifth. Vinny Castilla at third, batting sixth. Richard Hidalgo in center, going seventh. Brad Ausmus behind the plate will bat eighth. And Roy Oswald, who threw 15 pitches in his half of the first, will bat ninth. Defensively for the Squishy Fishies, Cliff Floyd is a 6 and a 4 in left. Preston Wilson is a 5 and an 8 in center. Kevin Millar a 2 and a 5 in right. Mike Lowell a 4 at third. Alex Gonzalez a 5 at short. Castillo a 6 at second. And Derek Lee a 7 at first. Charles Johnson, an underrated catcher in my view, an 8 and a 6 behind the plate. And Penny is an 8 on the mound with a 1,000 fielding percentage. Julio Lugo at 266, 10 homers, and 34 RBI. Penny starts the playoffs for them with strike three, a 1-2 curveball, swung on and missed. Now I'll bring up Biggio. Craig, 316, 25 homers, and a 86 RBI. Batting out of the 2-hole here in game one. Penny's pitch. Liner left field. That's going to get down in the corner. Biggio's going to have extra bases. Lowell dove. Should have had it. Biggio is in the second standing. So a good start for the Astros. Here's Jeff Bagwell at 250, 32 homers, and 99 RBI. Penny will work from the stretch now. Bagwell chops one to Lee. Derek takes it to the bag for the out. Biggio moves on to third, 2 away for Lance Berkman. Lance at 335, 29 homers, and 120 RBI. This team was productive. Runner on third, 2 out. Chopper up over the mound. Castillo over to Lee, and that will retire the side. So, through 1, no score. How you doing? Mike from the truck. Glad to have you along. The last of our 4 series. And we'll come up with the Game 4 schedule after we know how many Game 4s there are. The Cubs await the winner of this series. Mike Lowell, by the way, hit .303, 17 homers, and drove in 105. Oswalt starts the second with a fly ball, shallow center field. Hidalgo rides the Schwinn, 1 out. And that brings up Kevin Millar, who hit .330, 24 homers, and 101 RBI. He just isn't just the court jester of Major League Baseball. He's a pretty good player. Struck him out. Oswalt got him on an 0-2 looking. And that'll bring up Charles Johnson, who hit .235, 15 homers, and 56 RBI. What an effort for this team this year. The Marlins, by the way, 86 and 76. That was good enough to win the National League East. Tony Perez making the playoffs. The Marlins hit .265, so just about the same as the Astros. Pitching isn't as good with an ERA of 4.17. And we won't talk about their bullpen in mixed company. Pitch to Johnson. Struck him out. Oswalt is fan 3. Got him looking. Inning and a half in the books. No score. So that'll bring up Moises Alou. Moises at .340. 31 homers and 123 RBI. These teams were quite productive at the plate. Penny starts the second with a fly ball to right. Millar, moving over, makes the catch. 1 out for Vinny Castilla, who had a good time after coming over from the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. He hit .267, 21 homers, and 68 RBI. 5 Astros hit 20 or more homers. And that's appropriate at a place called Enron Field. Pitch to Castilla. Struck him out. That's 2 for Penny. A 1-2 curveball. Got him looking. And that'll bring up Hidalgo. .283, 14 homers, and 92 RBI. 2 out, nobody on, second inning. Penny's pitch. Hidalgo, Penny off the mound, and Penny tried to get him himself and didn't underhand it to Derek Lee. And so that will go down as a single, but really that's a brain fart from Brad Penny. He should have underhanded it to first. He did not. Here is Osmus. Brad at .225, 2 homers, and 38 RBI. So file that one away and see if Osmus can do something with it. Penny's pitch. Round ball to third. Lowell will go to Castillo, and that will end the inning. So the hit goes for naught. The Astros, after 2, have left on 2, but the scoreboard says Florida nothing, Houston nothing. Big Dave, how are you? Happy holiday weekend. Glad you enjoyed the Patreon last night. Alex Gonzalez stepping in at .249, 16 homers and 73 RBI. For those who so that's not what it says on the screen. I screenshotted all the most relevant replay numbers to give them to you because it just makes sense that way. Oswalt starts the third. Base hit right center field. Hidalgo throwing it in, but Gonzalez has himself a double. So playing for the bunt, Brad Penny, who on a real year, 161 with a triple and an RBI. No score, top of the third, nobody out. Bagwell and Castilla plays for the bunt. Penny does bunt. Bagwell has it under or flips it over to Biggio covering, and Penny is retired, 1 out. So Castillo is 0 for 1. Oswald's opening 9, 2 1/3, 32 pitches, 2 hits, and 3 strikeouts. No score in this one. Gonzalez is at third. For the Marlins, Castillo, base hit over Bagwell. That's a single, and the Marlins draw first blood in the series, 1-0. So 1 out single. That'll bring up Derek Lee, who's 0 for 1. Oswalt, one of the young guns to make his playoff debut. Mark, how you doing, Bernie? Happy vacation. Mark Burley for the White Sox was the other. And that is a strike. I don't know if Castillo was trying to steal or not, but it is a 1-strike count. The Dodgers game will be later today. Yes. How you doing, DJ John? As part of Gary Payton Presents, Scotty. Pitch to Lee. Fly ball, left center. Hidalgo going back. That is off the wall. Castillo will round third. Hidalgo's going to throw home. Lugo with the relay. It's going to be close, but Castillo is in there. And it's 2-0 Florida here in the third. DJ John is getting ready to fly to Seattle in a couple hours. Hopefully not in the cargo bay. Here's Cliff Floyd. He singled his first time up. This is not what the Astros expected. Oswalt takes a moment from the belt. Liner into right center field. That's going to drop for a hit. Hidalgo will pick it up. Derek Lee will round third and hold. And the Marlins, the second time through the lineup, seem to have the Astros number. Here is Preston Wilson. He struck out his first time up. So runners on the corners, 1 out. Oswalt needs either a strikeout. He would prefer to have a double play. He got the strikeout instead. A 1-2 fastball on the outside corner. 2 out for Mike Lowell, who's 0 for 1. Every time Scotty talks about the Dodgers, all I can think of is Bob Uecker in those light beer ads. Must be in the front row. Lowell ground ball to Oswalt towards the first base side of the bag, and that will do it. But the Marlins get 2 runs on 4 hits and no errors. We go to the bottom of the third here in Game 1 of this National League Divisional Series. It's the Marlins 2, the Astros nothing. So Oswalt will bat here. 191 on the real year with 3 RBI. Penny's pitch. There's a ground ball to first. Lee takes it to the bag. 1 out. Julio Lugo struck out his first time up. Penny opening 9, 29 pitches, 2 1/3, 2 hits, and 2 strikeouts. Penny winds and fires. Lugo into center. The crowd likes it, and they should. Back goes Wilson, and that ball's gone. So you don't expect a lot of power from your leadoff hitter, but Julio Lugo has just cut the lead in half. It's 2-1. Up over Ties Hill into deep center field. And you can hear the train going back and forth on the tracks. So the Astros get a run in. And here comes Craig Biggio, who doubled in the first. 2-1 to score now in Game 1 of this National League Divisional Series. Pitch to Biggio. Draws the walk. Scotty's in Seattle this week. Were you at the Sounders game the other day, or you were just double screening, right? Here's Jeff Bagwell, who's 0 for 1. Penny's pitch. Bagwell strikes out. A full count fastball got him looking at the belt. 2 out for Berkman, who's 0 for 1. Struck him out. Penny gets out of it. And even JC somewhere is standing and applauding. However, the solo homer from Julio Lugo cuts the Florida lead in half. We go to the fourth in Game 1. 2-1 Marlins. So Millar, Johnson, and Gonzalez. Kevin struck out his first time up. Ground ball to second. Biggio over to first. 1 out for Charles Johnson, who struck out his first time up. So Oswalt looking to rebound. Double screen. Okay, road game. Big Seattle-Portland game here tomorrow night. You got tickets? Struck him out. So good morning and a good afternoon from Oswalt on a full count fastball. Got him swinging for Alex Gonzalez, who doubled and scored in the third. Deep breath from Roy. Winds and fires. That is a high fly ball. Right center field. Back goes HOU, and that ball is gone. So light hitting shortstop home run central here. They both have hit 1 out. It's 3-1 Marlins now as Gonzalez puts that one into right center field, just below the second deck. DJ John going to go to a family reunion in Seattle. Seeing lots of cousins he hasn't seen in years. Roy Oswalt wants me to shut up and so we can pitch to Brad Penny. Scotty says, I'm a charter season ticket holder since 2009. And he was also at the first ever Sounder home game in 1974. Where did they play then? Did they go down to Washington to play? Because the Kingdome wasn't open by then. Or was it? Pitch to Penny, who's 0 for 1. Struck him out, and that'll do it. A solo homer from the shortstop. 1 run, 1 hit, and no errors. We go to the bottom of the fourth here in Game 1. 3-1, Florida. And just to summarize what else has happened in these playoffs, in the National League, the Cubs, the wild card, stunned the Giants in 3 straight. In Game 1, Chicago pounded them 12-2. Ouch. In Game 2, John Lieber threw a 3-hit shutout to beat the Giants 3-0. And then in Game 3, a 9-2 pasting. Scotty says Memorial Stadium in the shadow of the Space Needle. That's cool. The American League Series, Seattle leads New York 2-1, and Oakland leads Chicago 2-1. And once we know what's going to happen with this, we can tell you what we're going to do for the Game 4s. And after today, everything will be played out fully here on Retro Sports Network. No more quick sims after we get through after today. Moises Alou is 0 for 1. Penny starting the fourth on 47 pitches. Alou, a ground ball to Castillo, over to Lee, 1 out. We are told that someone by the name of Bartman has bought some left field line seats for games 3, 4, and possibly 5 at Wrigley Field. Don't know who he is or why that should matter, but Someone wanted me to pass that along. Vinny Castilla struck out his first time up. Line drive to Gonzalez, 2 out. For Hidalgo, who singled his first time up, 1 for 1. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Marlins. They've left on 3. The Astros will run on 3 hits, no errors, and they've left on 3. Hidalgo, chopper over the mound. Gonzalez has it. Quick throw to Lee, and that will do the 4th inning. Astros go quietly. We go to the 5th, 3-1. Florida. Scotty says, actually, Memorial Stadium in the shadow of the Space Needle is actually a decrepit old high school venue, still in use today. The move to the Kingdome in '76 was a big upgrade. Nice. Louis Castillo, 1 for 2. An RBI single and a run scored. Oswald, 18 batters, 69 pitches, 4 innings, 6 hits, a home run, and 6 strikeouts. There's a fly ball, left center, Hidalgo, 1 out. Now, yeah, the North American Soccer League was the one back in the late 70s, DJ John. Now, Scotty, you obviously went to Six Stadium at one point. Hold on, I got a text. I got a text. And I missed a phone call, too. Oh. That works, period. That is now a Home Depot, isn't it? So have you ever shopped at the Home Depot where the Pilots played? Derek Lee, 1 for 2, a double and RBI. Foul back, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes. It hits Osmus in the mask. They ask Brad where he is, and he says San Angelo, Texas, and they say close enough. Got him. That's 7 for Oswald. A 1-2 curve, swung on and missed. So 2 out for Cliff Floyd, who is 2 for 2. He is single twice. Struck him out. So Oswald is fanned 8. But halfway home in game 1, it's the Marlins 3, the Astros 1. Well, if you joined us late, game 1 here between the Marlins and the Astros from Enron Field in Houston. Halfway through it, 3-1 Florida. The Squishy Fishies get 2 runs in the 3rd. Castillo, an RBI single to score Gonzalez. Derek Lee doubles home Castillo to make it 2-0. Houston have that lead in the bottom of the 3rd. Julio Lugo, a solo bomb. But Alex Gonzalez saying, well, I can be a light-hitting shortstop, too, with power. Powered one himself to make it 3-1. By the way, 68 and sunny here in town today. It is definitely becoming fall very soon. Brad Penny, a 3-hitter through 4. He has struck out 4. Roy Oswalt has struggled in his effort. 6 hits through 5. And all 3 runs. He has, however, fanned 8. So Osmus still trying to figure out where he is after getting his bell rung. Oswalt and Lugo here in the 5th, and the plan is to let Oswalt hit. Osmus, ground ball to Lee. Derek takes it to the bag, 1 out. I'm not sure if I got this in a couple days ago or not, but the Based Lord is our 284th follower. And as Uncle Vinny would say, and remember, all your base belongs to us. And Megan Trainer wants you to remember, it's all about the base. On the base, no treble. There. Scotty says, I went to a game at 6 in his last season when Seattle was an A-League team. Oh my goodness, in the early 70s. Decrepit would be generous, but the restroom was Major League with rows of urinals. 74 in Rochester, 90s on Monday. Yeah, here too. Oswalt, 0 for 1, going to stay in the ball game. Ground ball to Gonzalez. Alex throws it over to Lee. And Oswalt, is he going to beat it out? Well, the ball is thrown away. It pulled Lee off the bag. He was able to hold Oswalt just to 1 base. So the first error of the series. And that brings up Lugo, who homered his last time up in the 3rd. Penny, by the way, 61 pitches, 18 batters, 4 1/3, 3 hits, a homer, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Lugo, slow chopper, might be 2. Gonzalez goes over to first to get the shore out. Oswalt in the 2nd with 2 out. For Biggio, who has doubled and walked. Penny pitching well, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Struck him out. That's 5 for Brad. How about that? A late called strike 3. No runs, no hits, and an error. We go to the 6th, 3-1 Florida. 70s in the Pacific Northwest, and the only smoke is local. Preston Wilson has struck out twice for the Marlins as we start the 6th. Lowell and Millar to follow. You don't want to get... Florida would love to have about 2 or 3 more to ensure that their bullpen, shakier than the Model T at 50 miles an hour, can hold the lead. Pitch to Preston. There's a ground ball to Lugo. Traveled a lot of ground to get there behind the bag. Over to first. 1 out. So here's Lowell. Mikey is 0 for 2. Struck him out. 9 for Oswalt. You can't say he hasn't impressed, can you? The 1 bad inning. Here's Kevin Millar. He is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Oswalt 1 out away from getting through 6. He does. That's 10. Well, he got Millar to chase one that was almost in Austin, for crying out loud. After 5.5, no runs, no hits, no errors. It's the Marlins 3, the Astros 1. Sean Kemp owns a dispensary? I didn't realize that. Gotta be careful how I say this. We don't need to get demonetized on YouTube. I mean, the thousands of dollars I get from these games. I didn't realize that. Jeff Bagwell, Lance Berkman, and Moises Alou here for the Astros in the 6th. Bagwell is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Brad Penny pitching to Jim. And Bagwell draws the walk. And the announcer's jinx. So here's Berkman. Lance is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Ah, he does. Mr. Kemp, we won't give the address or anything. And Gary Payton was at the grand opening. And as Kermit would sing, it ain't easy being green. Pitch to Berkman. There's a chopper over the mound. Castillo rushes in, throws to Derek Lee, and Berkman is retired. Bagwell moves on to second. 1 out. Moises Alou is 0 for 2. Down by the stadiums, of course. Of course. Makes you want to eat those fried grasshoppers after, right? Or have you done that? Pitch from Penny. Fly ball, right center. Wilson tracks it down, makes the catch. Bagwell back to second. And with 2 out, he's going to stick right there. For Vinny Castilla, who is 0 for 2 with the strikeout. Marlins have to be extremely happy with the effort they've gotten from Brad Penny here in Game 1. Johnson and Penny change around the signs. Bagwell peers in. Castilla, liner left center field. That's going to drop for a single. Bagwell will round third. Larry Durker is going to send him home. Cliff Floyd will throw to the plate, and Bagwell will easily beat the throw. In fact, it bounces away from Johnson, but not far enough for Castilla to move to second. And with 2 out here in the 6th, the Astros have cut the lead to 1. It's now 3-2. Sean Kemp had a popular restaurant up by the basketball arena for quite a while, too. Is there any timeline for when the NBA hopes to expand? I know that Seattle is a cinch to get one of those teams, especially since the arena has been redone. Richard Hidalgo was 1 for 2 with a single. Castilla, the tying run on first. Hidalgo, the go-ahead run at the plate. Fly ball, center field, and that ball's gone! Hidalgo gets the train rolling right through into left center field, and the Astros go ahead 4-3. Oh, Penny has given up 2 long balls, and my goodness, 3 of the 4 runs have come off it. He hung that one right over Broadway, and Hidalgo made him pay. And the Astros move ahead 4-3 with 2 out in the 6th. So here's Ausmus. Brad is 0 for 2. Oh, you haven't even tried the garlic fries. Those I would eat. From the pictures, he liked food. Here's Ausmus. There's a ground ball to Penny over the lead, but the damage is done. The Astros, on the homer by Hidalgo, get 3 on 2 hits and no errors. Oswald will try to go through the 7th. It's now 4-3 Stros. So Johnson, Gonzalez, and maybe pitcher spot. Well, it will be the pitcher spot. We'll see what they do. Charles is 0 for 2. Oswalt, due to lead off the 7th, is probably going to get 1 base runner, and that's it. Struck him out. 11 for Roy in this one, in 4 straight. A 1-2 fastball. It looks like Eric Gregg is behind the plate because the calls are coming in late. That's 3 for Johnson on the day. Here's Alex Gonzalez. He homered in his last at-bat. A solo shot. He's also doubled. He has 2 of the 6 hits that Florida has. Oswalt, deep breath. Chopper to short. Lugo over to Bagwell. 2 out. And let's see what the Florida Marlins do with Brad Penny, who is bunted and struck out. Either way, it's handshakes for Oswald after Penny. And Ryan McGuire, who couldn't get much higher, is going to pinch hit. He's certainly not in my notes. Real life, 185, a homer, and 8 RBI. So 2 out here in the 7th, 4-3 Stros. Oswalt deals. Popped him up. Biggio is going to get there. Handshake time. 4-3 at the stretch. Braden Looper led the Marlins in appearances with 75. He went 0-3, but don't let that fool you. A 3.49 ERA. He had 6 saves. More importantly for the Marlins, 80 innings, 75 hits, 31 runs all earned, 9 homers, 24 walks, and 54 strikeouts. Yeah, Oswalt pitched incredibly well. He struck out 11 and is on the correct side of a 4-3 lead. To finish, a thought about NBA expansion. Scotty's still not bitter or anything. When Kemp and Payton showed up to help the Kraken expansion draft the team, they didn't have a jersey that fit Kemp. And Gary's was pretty hot tight too. That's your NBA expansion. It'll be who can hit a righty, and it's going to be Daryl Ward. Actually, Jose Vizcaino. Yes, does Hellendale get flown in for... Yes. And her farmer husband, Dave. Because, as always, the farmer is in the Dell, and his name is John Dell. Vizcaino, as a real life, 277, a homer, and 14 RBI. So Braden Looper to face the switch hitter as we start the bottom of the 7th inning here in Game 1. 4-3 Astros. Pitch to Vizcaino. Liner down the right. And Millar will cut it off. Jose is going to hold with a single. Good play by Millar to hold that to 1. We've been talking about dispensaries. I'm not sure that Farmer John and his sausage is anywhere. Here's Lugo. Julio is 1 for 3. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. He hit a solo homer. And he struck out. How you doing, Steve? Daytime ball. We'll tell you the schedule for the Game 4s after we figure out how many Game 4s there are in these LDSs. Pitch to Lugo. Julio, ground ball to third. Playing for the bunt. Lowell has it. Goes to Castillo for 1. No throw to first. Or there is, but it's late. So Lugo will beat it out. Vizcaino is retired. 1 away for Biggio, who is 1 for 2. A double, a walk, and a strikeout. Not sure that's the trade the Marlins wanted. But Julio's going to stay put. Throw to first. And again, Julio will remain staying put. Up the middle. Gonzalez to the bag himself at second for 1 over to Lee, and that will retire the side. So the Astros get nothing here in the 7th on a hit and no errors. They're 6 outs away from winning Game 1. They lead 4-3. Who am I going with here? I should go. Well, Wagner's my closer. You're going to go with Octavio Dotel. He went 11-4, a 2.12 ERA, 102 innings. He started 4 times on the replay, 71 hits, 24 runs all earned, 6 homers. He walked 44 and struck out 153. And if he can get you 3 outs, you got Billy Wagner on deck to pitch the 9th. Yeah, the computer does like a large pitching staff. I think Houston took... There's 4 bats on the bench. And we're playing with 25-man rosters. There's Florida's bullpen. And they have 4 pinch hitters too, so... I made sure after that debacle with the White Sox and stuff to make sure that the 17,000 ERA pitchers that didn't pitch that many innings didn't make it. Castillo, by the way, leading off the 8th. He's 1 for 3. He's got to be glad Oswald's gone. With a RBI and a run scored. Dotel starts his playoffs with a walk. And Castillo is the tying run for Florida. Derek Lee, 1 for 3. He has doubled, drove home a run, and struck out. There goes Castillo. Hit and run is on. Bagwell will pick it up, takes it back to the bag at first for the out. And Castillo moves to second. So the tying run is on. 1 out for Floyd. You're not going to walk Floyd for Wilson. So Dotel has to be careful here. Struck him out. How? That's pretty careful. A 99-mile-an-hour fastball on an 0-2 count, swung on and missed. That's some serious huevos there from Mr. Dotel. And now I'll bring up Preston Wilson, who's 0 for 3. He has struck out twice. Here's the pitch, and he walked him. How often do I use a round? Never. It's major league pitching here. I try to treat these like it's a card and dice game and you're just rolling for the roll. I will hit and run if I see it makes sense or if I got someone who can do it, and I'll bunt. But as far as my defense, I'll bring the infield in when I need to. I'll play for the bunt, but I always pitch. I'm never aggressive. I don't go around. Mike Lowell, by the way, is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. First and second, 2 out here in the 8th. Dotel in a high-pressure situation. Delivers, and Lowell walks, and now they're loaded. And Eric Owens is going to pinch run at first. We look at the outcome box. It says an average of 200, so Dotel will stay in to face Millar, who is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. They are loaded here in the 8th. It's the Astros 4, the Marlins 3. Dotel, deep breath, fly ball to right. HOU will make the great play. He had him turn the wrong way, and HOU dove to save the ball game. Or at least a couple of runs. The Marlins end up with nothing. After 7.5, it's the Astros 4, the Marlins 3. Wow, Moises HOU with the play of the game. So Billy Wagner will pitch the 9th for Houston unless they get a bunch here. Bagwell is 0 for 2, a walk, a strikeout, and a run scored. Looper, fly ball to left. Floyd going back, and that's in the Crawford boxes. 5-3 Houston. So Moises HOU flashes the leather, and Jeff Bagwell thanks him with an insurance run. My goodness. Floyd just ran out of real estate, which is tough to do in Texas. So Looper gives up the homer. It's now 5-3 Houston. Here's Berkman 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Remember, after this game is done, we will quick sim games 2 and 3. Pitch to Berkman. High fly ball to right, but Millar will have it. 2 out. Remember, the roof is open. Wind blowing out to center at 5 and a cool, crisp 64 degrees, which makes our fans watching from Texas go, I remember that. Here's Moises Alou. He's 0 for 3. Looper, 1 out here in the 8th. Ground ball to Castillo. Web gem from Castillo. My goodness. Flashing the leather. And Ricky Bones is going to pitch now with 2 out. Looper's day is done. Here comes Bones. Bones trying to get Castillo. 1 and 8 on the replay with a 4.97 ERA. He had 3 saves, 68 games, 70 and 2/3 innings, 87 hits, 43 runs, 39 earned. He gave up 8 home runs. He walked 33 and struck out 59. You can ask the question here. Not a problem. Castillo 1 for 3. His homer in the 6th was the first in that 3-run rally. He lines this one to left. Floyd will make the catch, and that will retire the side. So, the Astros get another run on the solo homer by Jeff Bagwell. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. I got to call it Billy Wagner's stats because he's coming in a moment to close this one out. We go to the 9th. It's 5-3 Houston. So here comes the lefty to close this one out. Wagner, 4 and 3 with 44 saves, a WHIP of 8.48, an earned run average of 123, in 60 games, 66 innings, 38 hits, 9 runs, all earned. He gave up 2 homers. He walked 18 and struck out 91. Okay. Steve Tate has a Discord. So it'll be Johnson, Gonzalez, and a pinch hitter. The Marlins now need 2 to tie and 3 to go ahead. And Wagner pretty much as fail-safe as you can get as a closer. Johnson has struck out all 3 times. Roy Oswalt had the honors. Here's the pitch. Struck him out. That's 4 for Johnson. And 0-2 fastball. Steeler fan coming in just in time. 1 out for Gonzalez. Alex has doubled and solo homered. The winner of this series has a date with the Chicago Cubs. Gonzalez, base hit left field. Off the wall. Berkman didn't really get a good jump on it, and Alex has a double. So 1 on, 1 out. Mr. Matt's in the house. Marlins are going to pinch hit Jeff Abbott. Not a bad hitter, 262 in real life, no homers and 5 RBI, 11 hits and 42 at-bats. So Abbott, the tying run, no chance of a homer. Ground ball to Lugo. Throws to Bagwell, and it's last chance saloon here in game 1. Gonzalez moves to third. Again, his run really is just kind of window dressing. Louis Castillo is 1 for 3. He has singled, driven in a run, scored, and walked. Mr. Tate is working on an action PC football project now, assembling the great teams based on the state they were born in. There will not be a Vermont version of that. So here we go. 2 out. Runner on third. Astros trying to win game 1. Wagner. Deep breath. Here's the pitch. Struck him out. The Astros win game 1. Three hours and 1 fake minute. 5 runs, 7 hits, no errors. The Astros left on 4. 3 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. And the Marlins left on 7. Your digital dice MVP is going to be Roy Oswald, who struck out 11 in 7 innings. On 6 hits, 3 runs, all earned in a homer. Brad Penny pitched okay. And again, I think there's a big difference in this series. Hits the bullpens, and Houston's is better. Dotel walked him loaded in the 8th. It did not matter. And Wagner pitched a good 9th. So, hold on, Bernie. We're going to do games 2 and 3 right now. So the Astros have won game 1. Let's play game 2. So we're not going to, these are quick sim games, okay? I'll do the lineups and then the computer sims it out. It is going to be A.J. Burnett in game 2. I got to remember how I set this all up. Castillo. Ooh. Okay, catcher. Okay, that's the Florida lineup. Houston, we're going to go with Wade Miller in game 2. And what happens in game 2? Florida gets revenge. We will have a game 4. So Florida 8, Houston 6. How'd we get here? Cliff Floyd a solo homer in the first to make it 1-0. In the bottom of the inning, a fielder's choice by Jeff Bagwell tied the ball game at 1. In the second, we told you Kevin Millar is having an MVP season. His 2-run shot made it 3-1 Florida. Vinny Castilla got one back in the bottom of the inning to make it 3-2. Alex Gonzalez doubled home Mikey Lowell in the 4th to make it 4-2. Richard Hidalgo hits the second of the series to make it 4-3 in the bottom of the 4th. Dotel, in his relief, was injured. In the 7th, Preston Wilson a sac fly to make it 5-3. Julio Lugo doubled home to clear the bases in the 7th. The Astros led 6-5. But this time it's the Astros bullpen that couldn't get it done. Derek Lee doubled to tie the ball game, and Preston Wilson's 2-run homer in the 8th won them the ball game. So the Marlins bullpen bent but did not break. Wade Miller, 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs to 2 homers. Not a great effort. And you can see what happened. They'll have Dotel back for Game 3. Bottenfeld blew the save. He gave up the 3 runs, and they never got to Billy Wagner. So this one is tied going back to Florida. And so we'll set it up for this. Be Shane Reynolds in Game 3. The Marlins will counter with Matt Clement. And the Marlins, remember, were a couple years early. And no Josh Beckett, who pitched so well down the stretch. He did not make the roster, which is too bad. All right. Surprise, surprise, a rainy night in Florida. And the Astros win this one by the score of 8-1. So Houston, when we get back together again, will have a chance to win the series. They're up 8-1. And here's what happened in Game 3. Brett Ausmus an RBI triple in the 2nd to make it 1-0. Moises Alou singled home Berkman in the 3rd to make it 2-0. We had a rain delay in the 4th. Shane Reynolds stayed in the ballgame for Houston. Sac fly for him made it 3-0 in the 6th. Derek Lee a sac fly in the bottom of the inning to make it 3-1. Lance Berkman a solo bomb to make it 4-1, and then insult to injury, Houston got 4 in the 9th. Hidalgo an RBI double, Vizcaíno a single, and then Lugo a 2-run single. So Shane Reynolds 2 hits through 7. Matt Clement, yeah, that bullpen is just something else. All right, so we have 3 Game 4s. We're going to go with this one at noon on Sunday. Noon on Sunday will be Game 4 of this series. And if Houston wins, they will play the Cubs in the National League Championship Series. Game 4, noon Sunday, Eastern Time from Florida. The American League Series will resume Monday. Labor Day doubleheader, noon and 8:30. And we'll go with the Yankees and the Mariners early, and the A's and the White Sox late. Seattle and Oakland lead their respective series 2-1. So we'll see you Sunday at noon Eastern for Game 4 between the Astros and the Marlins. The Astros leading 2-1. The winner waits the Cubs, and then we'll see what Game 5 we may or may not need. Hey, thank you so much for watching. This one was fun. So the Astros lead 2-1. The Cubs swept the Giants, so they await the winner. And then Monday, Labor Day, will be the American League Game 4s. It'll be the Yankees hosting the Mariners, Seattle up 2-1. And the A's have a chance at home to close out the White Sox. They lead 2-1. We'll talk to you then. Have a great day, and thank you so much for watching. Talk to you Sunday for the resumption of the Astros and the Marlins. And don't forget, everything now will be live streamed. No more quick sims. Have a good weekend, everybody.